So we're asking the Nigerian citizens so far, are they happy with the results they're seeing? Is it something to write home about? Do you think INEC is being compromised? Or do you think the beavers actually failed us, not really the INEC? So we want to find out from the citizen whether this election is being compromised or is going according to plan. Oh, are we happy with it? Are we not happy? So we're going to hear it from the citizen, from the Okada people, the ordinary Nigerians. So let's go into the street and ask people about this. So remember, this is Niger We Need. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. What's your comments in this concerning this general election results so far?
Election was well conducted, but the result was manipulated. There is no doubt about it. And we, the masses, we are not happy about it. I know very well what happened in my polling booth. And then I came out and be hearing a different result. I don't know where the result came from. But the issue is that those manipulating results in Nigerian election, they don't love Nigeria. They are not patriotic. If they are patriotic, they should have allowed the person the electorate wanted to rule, not insisting that it must be APC. We didn't vote for APC. We didn't, because we don't want them. They've ruled for a long time, and they failed to accept that they failed. Then they insisted on ruling us by force. So everybody knows what we voted, but I know very well what happened in my booth. We didn't vote APC.
So do you think the beavers is a failed system?
The beavers is good, but one thing bad about the beavers is that it's not transmitting result. The beavers should, after accreditation, transmit the result. Then it allows the result is manual. Then that gives opportunity of rigging the election. It is not working very well.
So what should the INEC chairman do as of the moment now?
The INEC chairman should declare Peter Obi the winner of this election. We're not even begging for cancellation. We're not begging for cancellation. They should declare Peter Obi the winner. But if they don't want, well, if they think that God will soon one day strike them, we're not begging them more. But because nobody is comfortable in what is happening in Nigeria today. We are tired. We are tired. Look at myself here. I'm working to collect 5,000 naira. Is it not better for me to go and carry penta and serve medicine and collect 3,000 naira today? This morning, I've worked for it before. I'm working for it the second time. Only to collect 5,000 naira. We are fed up with all this system. Okay? Myself, I'm a medical student. I'm in final year. If you ask me, I'll tell you after 1 year, I will do my house job and I will leave the country. Next year, I will do my house job in medicine and I will leave the country if he continues this way. Okay? But if they want us to stay here and serve them, then we serve them. They should make a change. They should tell us that they love this country by living exemplary life. Not telling us to love the country, teaching us civic education, when their own life, it doesn't show they love the country. How can we vote the most corrupt Nigerian into power? We can't do that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I don't care because even life is not worthy, the pain of living it. You understand? If you kill me, you can't kill me twice. So that is it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
What do you think about this?
My name is Precious Ruth Hills.
So what is your...
citizen of Nigeria.
Okay, what do you think about this result so far? You think it's going well or something?
It is not going well. First of all, we were promised a free and fair election. Yet, APC will not and could not have allowed the election to go free and fair. We all know that the numbers are being rigged. We all know, we can see. And no matter how much we want to deny it, war is coming. And that everything that is happening now is against the Igbo people. Now, my support and my vote for Peter Obi is not because he's an Igbo man. If Peter Obi were to be a Yoruba guy or an Hausa guy with this so much integrity, with his personality and his discipline as a person, his personality, I would still have voted him. So when people talk about voting for Peter Obi because he's an Igbo man, it's not because he's an Igbo man. It's because we have seen he has integrity, he has everything it takes for a leader to have. That's what I have to say.
So you think the beavers have failed or...
They failed. INEC people are Wagara. They failed us. They failed us as Nigerians, as individuals.
So what do you have to tell the youth like today?
What I have to say to the youth is that we should not agree to whatever INEC, whatever APC, whatever their plans are, we should not agree to it. Because this is another 8 years of suffering. would have to get married inside these 8 years. You will give birth inside these 8 years. Like, see how bad Nigeria is already. Imagine letting APC rule again. It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. So let's not agree to whatever plan they have. Let's not agree to it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, what is your take concerning this INEC results on the presidential election so far?
Well, I don't know why INEC decided to bypass the beavers. The usage of beavers was an assurance by Nigerians that the elections will be transparent. But what we've seen was different than the promises they gave in earnest. And you can see that the international community, where the observers, nations and international community, even the statesmen, have condemned, the bypassing of the beavers. It should have been better if they should go back and correct those anomalies so that Nigerians who are agitated should be calmed down. Yeah.
So, do you think the exact results in Enugu State and some of this southeast, is it like the INEC is calling now? Do you think it's the exact results?
Well, I'm not an ad hoc staff of INEC. I'm not in Enugu State. I'm in Ebonyi. I didn't need to work in INEC office for me to know exactly whether those results were really what was gotten. But from the feelers, it appears that some of the figures were not correct. So INEC should go back and look forward seeing how they can get those who worked on that Saturday's election, get the right results, and let the people know what really happened. It is not compulsory that everybody, must win. And in the election, those who did not win must complain. But the important thing is that when somebody complains and you look into those complaints, it is better so that next problem could be solved. Nigerians has gone through a terrible time, so we didn't want to have any restive time again. That is what is my take on that. And actually look into what is going on. Address those matters that people are talking about, and let there be peace.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good morning.
So, do you think the beavers have failed us in this general election that just concluded on this Saturday, 25th of February?
By the grace of God, firstly, my name is Michael. I'm Prophet Michael by name, and I want to appreciate God for what is happening in Nigeria already. And to be frank with us, I think they have not done well at all. They have not even done well at all. They should give us the original result. Everybody knows the original results. If Nigeria will move forward to the next level, to the next place that God wants us to be, the Viva must give us the original results. And let him give it to the man that owns the results so that peace can reign. We have suffered enough, and it's time for us to move to the next level of rest.
So, do you think that all these results displayed on the TV screen, Arise channel and the rest of them, do you think there can be an atom of truth in it?
Channels, when you talk about channels of Nigeria today, BBC, and AIT and the rest of them, you find out that this particular channel you are talking about, they are not working in truth. Let us be frank with ourselves. Many people are scared of dying. Many people are scared of not saying the truth, or not like somebody like me. In this Nigeria, we have seen where things happened, and channels carried it, where people died, and channel carried it that it's just 10 people that died. But like that, we find out that it's 21 million people that died. So the displaying is not the original truth.
Okay, so, what do you think INEC chairman should do at this particular moment?
INEC chairman knows what to do. He knows what to do. He knows what to do. The fact remains that we have some strong cabals in this nation that is controlling them. So they are scared of their own life, but not knowing that they are selling the destiny of their own children also. So the best thing for the chairman of INEC to do is to tell the truth. Look at how they started the counting of the election. They started it well. At the point, they dropped and said they want to go and rest. When the job is still needed, which country can that will be done?
So, what's your advice out there to Nigerians who are listening to you?
By the grace of God, my advice to all Nigerians listening out there is to keep on praying to God, who owns the heaven and the earth, who knows the final say. Men may have the final say in their hand, but God, who created heaven and the earth, knows the final say. He is the one that can take the life is the one that can replace the life. So if you please God that He wants you to go this way, there's nothing we can do. But I know that God have a final say over Nigeria, and it's time for Nigeria to have rest. That is the only thing I have to say.
Yeah, good morning.
So, are you happy with what you are seeing so far in this INEC results on the presidential election?
Honestly speaking, I myself and everybody I have spoken with is not happy about the result we have been hearing so far after this 2023 election in Nigeria. I cannot tell you I'm happy, and nobody is happy. That is what I have found out.
Okay, so the results you've seen in Ekiti, Lagos, Kaduna, Kano, do you think they are real results, or what do you think?
I don't believe it is real, and nobody have confessed it is real. It is not real in any way. They are manipulating it. That is what we believe, and that is what I believe personally.
So, but before now, did you believe in INEC because of the introduction of BVAS, and what's your faith now?
Actually, before we go to the poll, we believe that our vote will count this year, and everybody have that in mind. That's why you see massive coming out just to vote on that Saturday, being 5th January. But what we are seeing so far, February, but what we are seeing so far is not what we expected at all. Because we see the Z youths are coming out with, and all these people are coming for one thing in mind. But at the end of everything, we are not seeing the positive result of what we have believed to do. So we are not trusting INEC after this election. That is not what we thought will happen this year, because we thought that the way they are preparing for the election, we thought that the INEC is very, very pure in their mind, but after everything we saw that INEC have nothing good in mind for Nigeria.
Thank you so much. And what do you have to say to the international community and people watching out here?
Concerning international community, I think they have to bring their pure heart to set their mind concerning this election. If not, the youth and everybody in Nigeria is not happy about the result of this thing. I believe, and what I want to tell the international body is that they have to say the truth. They have to look into this election properly and say their mind, their correct mind, not trying to side one person or the other. Let them say the truth and let the truth come out.
Thank you. How do you think the INEC is compromised?
Okay, for me, I think INEC deceived us. I am very surprised because when the 2022 Electoral Act was signed into law, all of us were very glad, we were very happy. At least there will be a genuine and improvement. So, to our greatest surprise, they disappointed us at this time, because the 2022 Electoral Act was what was used to conduct the Osun State election, the Ekiti State election. What is the introduction that they put in this that restore our confidence? The introduction is that Section 60 of the Electoral Act, I think sub-6 of the Act, states that every polling unit, after election in each polling unit, that the election results should be transmitted electronically to the general database at the polling units. So that was what were used in Osun State election. That was what used in the Ekiti State election, and it restored our hope. Going into the 2023 election, this was what they were telling us, and we believed them that it will happen. To our greatest surprise, the results that have been coming in, we saw a situation where the total number of 176,846 polling units in Nigeria, less than 48% of these polling units have sent their results to the general database. So this is what is causing the issue. So you can see the likes of a former president of the country, Olusegun Obasanjo, and many good Nigerians who have been calling that the process is flawed and the process should be corrected. Even Dino Malaya yesterday in the INEC collections center protested till he staged the work until the agents of other political parties stage work out of the process. Because the process we have is, for instance, in Ebonyi State, let's assume they have 20 polling units in Ebonyi State, for instance, and 1 or 2 polling units have sent results to database, and you are calling the results. So you can only call results of states who are done sending results from each of the polling units. So if we have 20 polling units, two polling units have sent the results, and you are calling the results. What is the meaning? So this is where the argument is coming from. If you can only call states that are done sending them polling units, it will be difficult for them to manipulate. So in this case now, in case of Ekiti, that was first called that Sunday evening, they said Tinubu got 200 and something thousand votes, but after the computation of what they did, the number they got is below the number that is accredited. Even if you balance the Peter Obi's votes, you balance Atiku's votes, you balance Eric Kwakwaso's votes, and you balance this invalid vote and everything, it does not tally. But because they have declared it, it will not be easier for them to go and recompute and now send exact what they called to the database. But if they can send the results from each of the polling units first to the database before calling, they cannot manipulate it. So in such a way, in anywhere where there is any issue, it's difficult for them to do. Secondly, the option to upload the result electronically also stipulates that any PO, presiding officer of a polling unit, who failed to upload it there is a breach and is liable to pay fine of 500k or option of 6 months in jail. So these provisions are there. I'm not be at home with the exact subsection, but it's section 60. Read from section 60 down. Section 60 of the electoral 2022 specify the mode of declaring the mode of granting election, the mode of declaring election, the mode of send election electronically. But what we have now is taking us back to the Stone Age, analog age, by computing these results in analog means. But you promised us. You spent billions of naira, you make several announcements, you restored our hope, and you change the game the middle of the post. What's that trying to tell? They knows that if by now that the 176,864 polling units, if they can be able to post all the results in database, I think you and I can have the access to our phone, because you and I can have access to our phone and compute it before, if they are delaying. As they are delaying, I'll have my figure, you have your figure, you have your figure. And by the time we tell ourselves the truth, your figure, my figure, we tally. So we're waiting for them. At that point, they know they cannot change it. But they know that if that is done, maybe their preferred candidates might not win. I think the Dynamics pastor is very correct. He said that next election, that INEC should be on the ballot box, and I as well affirm that, because this whole thing is flawed. This process is not fair. This process, we have lost hope in it. So this issue is really giving us trouble. It's not about who wins in this election. It's about the process. The process should be fair, so that we all have hope in the system. When Dino Milai, who is the agent of PDP in the situation room, raised alarm that this Ekiti State election should be reviewed, he has every right, because same section 60 sub 3 of that section said that if at any point any party agent is aggrieved, you have every right to pause and review what is going on. But now the INEC chairman insisted on going on with these results. So how do we expect us to like this thing? So for me, I'm aggrieved. For me, like many Nigerians, I'm not happy. For me, like many other persons, I don't like this result. If this continue, I think I just hope it shouldn't call for civil unrest, because as of late yesterday night, outside the former president Obasanjo letter, the NLC as well wrote a letter calling INEC join their ears on that they shouldn't push Nigeria to the street. That they are calling the future of millions and millions of people, over 180 million people, on their fingers. That they shouldn't go ahead with this. That they should rectify this to avoid civil unrest. Because if they should push these youths to the street because of this, I doubt nobody knows what will happen. Because we could recall during NSAS, just like a joke, like many people are no longer happy, are no longer comfortable with these results. I just hope he won't push us to the streets, because personally I'm not happy about it.
So far, the result, like the ones I've watched on social media and the ones I've watched on the televisions, I think the collection, the situation room, and the INEC officials, the chairman and other members, what they are showing us or what they are announcing is what is presented to them. And we are not sure whether those results actually came from those states they are announcing. because the initial promise was that once election is done, one voting is done at the polling unit and counted, that the results will be transmitted and uploaded to the INEC server. So, but they are not showing off. They are not showing us any uploaded results on the server. They are just kind of calling figures. Sometimes they will tell you this candidate scored so and so number of votes. Nobody knows how. So it's. But for me, I think it's a peaceful one. Like in my local government where I voted, it was peaceful. But the outcome of the election is what we don't really understand.
So you are saying that the beavers is a failed system?
Yes, of course, the beavers generally disenfranchised many Nigerians. Like in my own polling unit, when I wanted to vote, yes, it accredited me fast. But I saw like over 27 persons it didn't accredit. But those are people I know very well. They are from my village, and they've been voting in that particular polling booth, in my polling booth. But the beavers didn't recognize them. And at a point, you see where somebody's name will just be mentioned without a voter's card, and the name will be on the beaver. So I don't think it really helped matters. So we almost went back to the previous way of doing it. So we thought that the beavers machine would have at least been a better avenue for us to conduct a more transparent election. But generally, I would say we achieved a little success, but it disappointed and disenfranchised many Nigerians.
Thank you. INEC have been calling. Do you think it is the authentic result? Are you happy with the result?
I'm not happy with it. It's not authentic. It's not fair and fair. From what I'm seeing, that was not what INEC promised us that they are going to do. Because they promised us that the result would be, they would be posting the result from our from online there, from the polling units. The INEC will be getting the result, but now they are getting it manually. So, which is not the promise that they gave to us. Okay. So we are not happy with the results.
So what do you have to tell the international community that is going to see this thing? Do you think, what do you think they should do?
They should use their sense. One is that the election was not free and fair. If on my own side, they should cancel it if possible. They should cancel it. And when they cancel, they should do what they say that they are going to do. If they are if we are voting, they should be sending the result from the polling units where we are to the internet, so that we will not get what we voted and not collecting it manually, because it can be rigged when collecting it manually.
Result. Do you think the beavers have been compromised, or is it INEC has been compromised? Who is being compromised in this Nigerian presidential election result?
INEC itself has been compromised, not the beaver. The beaver is working, but INEC failed woefully. INEC failed woefully, and I think they need to do something about it. They need to do something about it.
So the results you have been seeing so far in the television and the rest, do you believe it?
It is not corresponding with what people have at hand. They're supposed to upload the beaver online, as they said. Before the election, they told us everything that we are expecting. At the end of the election, they started doing another thing. So that is where the challenge is. They started doing another thing.
So do you think the INEC fooled the Nigerians by giving us those fake assurances?
Yes, yes, especially the director of INEC. Yes, because he's the one commanding all these things. He has totally compromised all the things Nigerians is expecting. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And what is your advice to Nigerians as it stands now?
My advice to Nigeria youth especially is to be calm and peaceful and watch and see the end.
Okay. Do you think INEC chairman have failed us in this presidential election so far?
Yes, I think he has failed Nigerians. He's not living up to the promise he made to Nigerians. He said there was going to be credible election, but now, from what has transpired, we are not believing what he promised Nigerians, because there are reports of irregularities across the country. So, and therefore we request for the suspension or even the cancellation of the result of the election so far, and another election conducted.
Okay. So do you think if another election is conducted, do you think Nigerians will still come out the way they came out on Saturday to?
Yes, they will come out. They will come out. Nigerians are willing to effect a change this time around because Nigerians had suffered a lot and they don't want a repeat of that. They don't want to continue their suffering any longer. So Nigerians are still willing to come out in mass and vote again if another election is conducted.
So what is the beavers? What has gone wrong in the beavers itself?
I don't see anything that has much gone wrong with the beavers, because the only thing is that INEC refused to open their portal at the beginning of the election. So I don't see anything wrong with the beavers so far because beavers did a lot of work in upgrading this election, but the fault is from INEC, who refused to open their portal at the commencement of the election.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, from my own view, and then what I saw that very day during the election, because I was directly involved. Like, I tried as much as I can to vote, but in my own polling unit, everything went successful. Like, everything was okay. We did everything so beautiful. There was nothing like conflict. Everything was done so successful. But then looking at the result and then what people posted, for me, I think there was a time they started trying to manipulate the result, so to say, because many polling units were actually dropping their own result. We are looking at it, and then when that of Ekiti State delivered their own result, everything changed. Like, I was deeply touched. So I think this particular result was rigged, so to say. Because if you look at all the states that delivered their own result with regards to Labour Party, APC, and rest of them, you see that Mr. Peter Obi actually won the result, or won the destiny. But then, the way, Nigeria's system of, election, and then trying to make sure that this particular democracy stands as the way it's supposed to be. I think they are failing us, so to say.
So you think that INEC is compromised at this particular period in time?
Yeah. Even looking at what, because I watched that of yesterday when one man, and I don't know his name, one man was actually, telling the INEC chairman that he has failed Nigeria. Yes, that he has failed Nigeria, and it's true. He has failed Nigeria. You see, and the man, even when he was telling the man that he has failed Nigeria, the man was speechless because actually he knew what he did. And one other woman was actually also saying the same thing, that looking at all the collected results and everything that went this thing, that he has failed Nigeria. For me, I think that election was rigged. Because I know Peter Obi was actually gaining the more weight in all the states. Even where talks and the rest of them went and then dragged everything, Peter Obi still maintained that particular stuff. But Nigerian system of politics and everything that. But for me, I think the INEC chairman and those involved in this particular election, they should go back and look for the original result and bring out for us to know actually what is happening in Nigeria. Because we have suffered. We have actually suffered. Children are suffering. Even those children that are yet to be born, all of them are suffering because they are no more eating that food that is supposed to be eaten. Okay, look at the situation whereby there is no money. You see people working from, if you go to bank now, you see what is happening there. Actually, I'm coming from bank now just to withdraw, but nothing is going on. So you see that the quantity of food that a mother is supposed to eat, the mother is no more eating it, and then the child inside her womb is suffering because the child is no more eating that food that he or she is supposed to be eating. So you see that this particular cashless policy 2023 election is really affecting us. It has affected everything until we change our mentality. Because now Nigerians, we are more conscious of our circumstances and our environment. That it is because we are not conscious of what is happening to us. We are not sensitive to, to vote and everything, because it's our civic responsibility to vote. And if you look at the population that came out that very day, you see that this particular election is something that everybody has carried on his head in order to deliver us from this particular existential quagmires that we were inside. So I think the INEC chairman and those involved in this particular election, they have failed us. Let them go back and get that original result. Yes. Yes. Let them go back and get that original result so that we know what we are doing.
It's a presidential election now. Do you think that INEC is playing fair?
No, they are not playing. They are not playing fair.
So what do you think? What do you think so far? The result you are seeing?
It's what I'm saying is not balanced. It's not balanced at all, and most of the youth are not happy for what is happening. They told us to go and collect our PVC and vote at our PVC count, but for what I'm seeing in the INEC chairman side, our votes did not count to me, and my own opinion, and we are not happy for what we are seeing.
So, but this Ekiti result, because it's the Ekiti result that brought out the uproar of everybody saying the rigging. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's the correct result or something?
It is not the correct result. Every eye sees it that it's not the correct result, because the result was uploaded on 20th February 2023 before the election. So the time is 11 minutes after 2 in the afternoon. They uploaded the result before the election. So the result is not the real result. It's a fake one.
So what do you have to tell the international community and people watching out there, that is this election free and fair?
To me, it's not free and fair, and I'm pleading with the international community to watch and see this election and to help us to know what the Nigerians will do to keep us in a better place, not in the wrong place.
So, do you think that INEC is compromised in this presidential election result?
Here they made that presidential election, my other national assemblies. I like come here because somebody had to run your careful because it was my bank to vote. How much around there to vote? But they make okay. If we should go, if that presidential election result, Cameroon winning, but can they be like this? And I talk in short, he had the INEC carry those people, that's a cabas, actually rigged the election by all means. So I'm the Obia drama. I touch half, Jake one line, Tafu, Tagidafu, no hours to vote, and I am for the result vote. And now I catch way to vote now, especially in our play booth.
So, Ina say that INEC is totally corrupt in this?
Yes.
They are very corrupt.
Yes.
So what do you think that the international society should know about this?
How can it think on this in it on Nabia like here on the make it more like it? Because they talk about international observers get you a matter in Quebec. Here made a drama and we can make a card happy. Makia, especially we I want to okay. Only we time too much. They would take shy but even not get them go each self. Okay, man, other times, by this time, I really got the result. I try to get the result. I'm the result. I say I come in bank, or drama. Even the bear, but I have umi when I Ugausa. Obia drama. Of which my affect because my general affect. Balkan shady, and I'm a millions of naira. Ujazwa there. So be a drama.
Thank you so much, sir.
I can ask no one Nigeria, but I know basically one Nigeria. And the Hausa, and then the Yoruba, and the Hausa. Who is a West Gazan would do what as so, Odroma, Kodoma.
Thank you, sir.